A scroll, 4 strings, a bow, sheet music, and a musician. But this violin is of unusual dimensions. It stands more than 4 meters tall. And it takes 2 violinists to work the bow, which is more than 5 meters long. It's the brainchild of violin maker Ekkard Seidt from Markneukirchen, now home to the largest playable violin in the world.
The idea is actually pretty old. But last year, 2010, Markneukirchen had a big celebration, and I marked my 25 years as a self-employed master luthier. So all that together inspired me to convince a few colleagues to help me make this large instrument and bow.
It took more than 1,700 hours to craft the giant violin. 15 luthiers, bow makers, and string makers worked on the various parts. Although this giant violin is 7 times the size of a normal one, it's proportioned exactly like its smaller cousins. So it's still a proper violin.
It was based on this model by Johann Georg Schönfelder, and the basis for the size was this huge poster. There were some really exciting moments, like when all the parts of the sound box were finally glued together, and then when it was strung. We wondered if what we built would even hold, or would something break? Would the strings snap? It was very exciting.
The violin is 3 octaves lower than a normal-sized instrument. Leipzig-based composer Stefan König has written music especially for it, the Rhapsody for Giant Violin and Orchestra. The sheet music is also huge. The bow alone weighs some 15 kilograms. Playing music on it requires coordination and strength.
You have to exert a lot more strength the whole time than with a normal violin, where you just have to press down a little bit on the strings, which are considerably thinner. This is a lot more work for the fingers.
The dimensions are simply totally different than with a normal violin. And we need to have the small sheet music on the bow, because we're sometimes 5 or 6 meters away from the large sheet music on the floor and can't really read it.
Markneukirchen has a long history of instrument making. The sale of musical instruments even made the town the richest in Germany for a time, during the 1920s. Markneukirchen is considered a cradle of violin making. Germany's first Luthiers' Guild was founded here in 1677. The legacy of craftsmanship is still obvious today, and instruments from the Vogtland region are sold worldwide. When the giant violin isn't being played, it's on display at the town's Museum of Musical Instruments. Transporting the instrument is a logistical challenge. At 4.27 meters, it weighs more than 130 kilograms. It takes at least 7 people to transport and set up the giant violin. And thanks to Carola Schlegel, the giant violin is getting a place in the Guinness Book of World Records.
We were really happy and proud to be included in the Guinness Book of World Records. It's another achievement. And then, of course, there was the honor of being invited to London. There are 4,000 world records in the book, but only 5 were invited to the presentation in London. So that was like winning the lottery. Es war also fast der Sechser im Lotto, der uns dort ereilt hat.
Now the violin is getting a bit of a rest. Its next big appearance will be in celebrations to ring, or rather string, in the new year.